This is Holiday Core item number 936, ready to run assembled smart receiver with either 4 or 8 outputs. This unit can be customized with any of your configuration options, including power supplies of 5, 12, 24 volts, or generic and Meanwell power supply brands. Now, this can be configured with either 4 outputs, as shown here, or 8, not shown. It will come with pre-attached pigtails with our standard EasyPlug3 connections. These allow connection to any of our pixel strings with no soldering. All the outputs are fully labeled with the output number and the voltage on color-coded shrink wrap labels. And we give you generous amounts of pigtail length. This is all mounted in an enclosure. It is UV resistant, waterproof, and it has mounting options on the rear portion of this. This is all connected together with 120 or 240 volt input and plugs with either US, Canadian, Mexico, or Australian or European. All right, so let's go over what is the star of the show here. This is the smart receiver. Now, a few notes on the smart receiver. This smart receiver is part of the Flex system, and it does have some prerequisites. It requires you to have a Hinks Pix Pro CPU, and it requires that you have a long-range expansion board connected to that Hinks Pix Pro. So the typical connection sequence would be from the application or PC to the Hinks Pix Pro, or directly standalone on the Hinks Pix Pro, to the long-range expansion board, Cat5 cable, into this unit, and then into this plug right here, which is Cat5. Now, the distance between that long-range expansion board back at your main controller and this long-range smart receiver can be up to 500 feet. Now, typical distances are around 300 or so feet, and that all varies based upon the quality of your cable and other EMI issues. So, that is not the total length. You'll note that there are 2 additional plugs on here for Cat5. These allow you to split or daisy chain the signal. So, for example, coming from the long-range expansion controller, we come into this unit, we can then break off and then run out to another smart receiver and then off to another smart receiver, or then split and Y from that, or just daisy chain as many as you'd like, up to 16 total long-range expansion boards. So, this can be used in one single run, multiple runs, wide, split, any configuration you can come up with, as long as you don't use more than 16 total units on a Cat5 cable. Now, the total number of pixels available across all the outputs on any of the total units on one Cat5 cable is 680 pixels times 4. All right, so a little bit of detail on how this board works. This board has a variety of features on it. For example, you'll see on here we have markings for the output indications. It has positive, negative, and data. Now, it does have 4 pins, and that does not mean that it works with 4 wire pixels. It only works with 3 wire pixels, such as 2811, 1903, any of those. It does not work with 2801, for example. All right, now also down in there, it's a little hard to see and they're not lit up. There are little green lights in here, and those green lights tell you if the controller's receiver's outputs are configured. So when you have it booted up and it's receiving data from the long-range receiver expansion board, these will light up if they are configured. So if you don't have any data or universe is configured for it, it won't light up. So it shows you the status of each one. There's also a light here that shows you whether or not it is powered up and receiving power and the fuse is not blown. You'll also see that all these fuses are easy to get to. It also has 4 status indicators for the outputs. It also has a built-in test function here. All right, now see our other videos. We do have additional videos that explain the inner workings of exactly how this works, and we also have additional units that are long-range expansion that are 16 outputs and that are AC and that are using P10, P20, P5 type panels. So this is item number 936 from Holiday Core.